Hola amigos, ¿cómo están ustedes? Bienvenidos de vuelta una vez más a este increíble canal de noticias Venezuela News. En este momento y en este preciso instante, el internet está broken, está rompiendo right now. Señores, la entrevista de Tucker Carlson con Donald Trump ha sido o se convierte en la entrevista más vista en la plataforma y en el país entero y en el mundo. Entonces, les voy a compartir a continuación la entrevista o varios clips traducidos en español para que se enteren todo lo que dijo Donald Trump durante este video o durante este interview. Pero antes de comenzar, me gustaría que me regalen un like como forma de apoyo a este canal, que se suscriban, por supuesto, y que compartamos este video para que se haga viral. Este video se tiene que hacer viral, señores, tiene que convertirse en tendencia para que más personas de habla hispana vean lo que dijo Donald Trump. Así que comencemos. Pero antes de comenzar, me gustaría compartir este video donde Zachary Seller, una persona que fue legislador, dijo en la CNN que nadie iba a ver la entrevista de Tucker Carlson con Donald Trump. Él dice lo siguiente: solo para que conste, la contraprogramación de Donald Trump es horrible. No creo que nadie vaya a ver a Tucker Carlson en Twitter o X. Estarán mirando la programación de Tucker Carlson con Donald Trump. Pero, señores, se equivocó. Miren este video.
Yeah. Given we know, Bakari, Donald Trump's not going to be showing up and he's going to be trying to counter-program. And then you have on Thursday, him turning himself in, as Kevin rightly put, is going to steal a lot of the spotlight. What do you think, because I know you are always in the business of giving advice to Republicans, what do you think a win looks like on the debate stage tomorrow?
Yeah, they don't listen to my advice, though. Goodness gracious. So, look, I think there are a few things. So I think those are the three tiers of individuals who have an opportunity to win tomorrow night. And just for the record, Donald Trump's counter-programming is horrible. I don't think anybody's going to be watching Tucker Carlson on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. And I don't think anybody's going to be responsive to his quote-unquote counter-programming.
Quiero compartirles con ustedes un tweet de Benny Johnson donde dice lo siguiente: 200 millones de visitas, Tucker Carlson versus Donald Trump. Es fácilmente la entrevista más vista de la historia. Transmite sin pausas publicitarias, sin filtros corporativos y sin censura. Simplemente visión y honestidad cruda y fascinante que los usuarios devoran. X está rompiendo el panorama mediático para siempre. Señores, ya el video llegó a las 200 millones de vistas, como les mencioné anteriormente, y este es un guerrero. Los medios de comunicación, el gobierno y otros billonarios están al frente, y este es Elon Musk. Elon Musk en este momento está peleando contra los medios corporativos porque la plataforma que él está creando en este momento, la plataforma de Twitter, o mejor dicho, la plataforma X, está haciendo una revolución total para todos los creadores de contenido y todas las personas que trabajan o que trabajamos en compartir noticias importantes y reales para todos ustedes. Entonces, señores, el debate comenzó. Vamos a pasar con la primera pregunta que le hizo Tucker Carlson a Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson le pregunta a Donald Trump si le preocupa que la gente intente asesinarlo. Esto fue lo que dijo.
It started with protests against you, massive protests, right. Organized protests by the left, and then it moved to impeachment twice, right. And now indictment. I mean, the next stage is violence. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you, honestly?
They're savage animals. They are people that are sick, really sick. You have great people in the Democrat Party. You have great people that are Democrats. Most of the people in our country are fantastic, and I'm representing everybody. I'm not just Republicans or conservatives. Right. I represent everybody. I'm the president of everybody. But I've seen what they do. I've seen the lengths that they go to.
Donald Trump también habla sobre Christie, uno de los candidatos presidenciales que estuvo presente en el debate del Fox News. Él dice lo siguiente: es como un maniático salvaje, es como un lunático. Miren esto.
A guy like Christie, the guy left with a 8%, think of it, 8% approval rating in New Jersey. Now he's running for president. And he runs solely on the basis, oh, let's get Trump. He's like a savage maniac. He's like a lunatic. And that's all he talks about. His poll numbers are very, very low. He's about 2%.
What's he like? You know him well.
No, I've been friendly with him over the years, but I couldn't give him a job because I just never trusted him very much. I was just never one of his people that really trusted him. I never gave him the job, and that's one of the reasons he feels so hurt and so betrayed. And I understand that. I really do. I understand it, but I never gave him. You know, he wanted to be different things. He was looking at different elements of the administration, and we decided. I decided just I didn't want to do it.
Phil, but it was just interesting. I read Barr's account of his time. He wrote a book about it,
right?
His autobiography, and in it he lies about Jeffrey Epstein's death. Clearly lies. Do you think Epstein killed himself sincerely?
I don't know. I will say that, you know, he was a fixture in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
I don't know what Barr said about it either. I have no idea what he said. What did he say? He killed himself, probably?
He said he killed himself and that they were going to do this investigation. They never did the investigation. It's never been public.
Well,
and they hid it. And like, why are they doing that? And clearly Barr knew. But why would Bill Barr be covering up the death of Jeffrey Epstein?
Bill Barr didn't do an investigation.
Donald Trump habla y describe a Joe Biden. Esto fue lo que dijo.
I think he's going to make it to November of 2024.
Well, I think he's worse mentally than he is physically. And physically, he's not exactly a triathlete or any kind of an athlete. You look at him, he can't walk to the helicopter. He walks, he can't lift his feet out of the grass. You know, it's only 2 inches at the White House, right? That's not a lot. But you watch him, and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks. So, and then you see him on the beach where he can't lift a chair. You know, those chairs are meant to be light, right? They're like 2 ounces.
Yeah.
You lift them up. He can't lift the chair. He can't walk to the chair. And I don't know what they're doing with the beach. You know, this beach is seeming to play a big role, but they love pictures of him on the beach. I think he looks terrible on the beach. He looks terrible on the beach.
Skinny legs.
Well, he can't walk through the sand. You know, sand is not that easy to walk through, but when he walks through it, he can't walk through the sand. And there's somebody in there that thinks he looks fabulous at the beach. I think he looks horrible at the beach. Plus, the beach doesn't represent what a president's supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be working.
También Donald Trump habla sobre Kamala Harris. Y esto fue lo que describió sobre la vicepresidenta de los Estados Unidos. Miren esto.
She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
But
she seems pretty senile, too.
She speaks in rhyme. You know, it's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
in rhyme? What do you...
Well, the way she talks, the bus will go here, and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future.
Además, Donald Trump dice, hemos hecho las cosas más estúpidas en este país y ahora tenemos un presidente que no puede juntar dos frases. No puede hablar, no puede caminar, no puede hacer absolutamente nada, señores. Vean esto.
We have done the stupidest things in this country. And now we have a president that can't put 2 sentences together, can't speak, can't walk, can't talk. I don't think he gets to the starting gate, but these people do miracles. I mean, he ran out of his basement, and you got away with that one because of COVID, so he sort of got away with it. But you have people that are very smart, but they're fascists, and they're radical left lunatics, and they're destroying our country with the all-electric cars and the windmills all over the place, which, by the way, don't work, and they're all, most of them made in China. For the most part, they're made in China. Germany a little bit, but China. But you look at what's happening to our country, even no voter ID. I mean, why don't they want voter ID? There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, because they want to cheat.
Además, Donald Trump habla de cómo mantendría al FBI y la CIA bajo control. Esto fue lo que dijo.
So how do you, that's my question, how do you, if you get elected again, go back to Washington, how do you keep the agencies under control? How do you keep FBI and CIA specifically under control?
The way you do it, like I fired Comey, that was a big deal. You know, a lot of people said, and I fired him very early. Somebody said, oh, I wish you would have fired him. There was a real question about firing him. Anyway, you understand, because, you know, when they have a 10-year term, there is a question. I fired Comey. That was a great thing. If I didn't fire Comey, maybe I wouldn't be talking to you, or I'd be talking to you about real estate or something else other than politics, right? That was a coup, in my opinion. That was a very sick deal. That was the insurance policy. You remember the insurance policy? Oh, she's going to win, darling. She's going to win. But just in case she doesn't, we have an insurance policy. And insurance policy was what they were doing. And we caught them with that. That was a very important tweet, or whatever it was, text. It was a big deal. That was a big deal. The insurance policy. She's going to win 100 million to 1. That's not good odds. At least they gave me 1, right? 100 million to 1. But just in case she doesn't win. We have an insurance policy. And everybody said, that's strange. That's strange. But we caught all that because I fired Comey. Because when I fired Comey, it was like throwing a rock into a hornet's nest, into a nest of bees, and the place went crazy.
Tucker Carlson le pregunta, ¿sabía Trump todo lo que estaba haciendo la CIA?
So when you were president, are you confident that you knew everything, say, CIA was doing around the world?
No, I'm not. It's a very interesting group of people. I had very good relationships, I thought, but I was a little surprised when I got out that, things go on. Look, it's...
What were you surprised by?
I was surprised. I think it's some of the people. I was surprised that there was... I had a group of people. Look, we killed many, using the CIA, I have to say this, very bad actors. We were very good at it. You look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, bigger than Osama bin Laden. I mean, Osama bin Laden, but al-Baghdadi did ISIS, and he was rebuilding ISIS very strongly.
And that was the CIA that did that?
That was really us that did that.
Yeah.
That was really us that did that. And Soleimani was us that did that, not so much CIA. But we did some very good work with the CIA. What I started, when I looked at the 51 intelligence agents saying that was the laptop from hell was Russia disinformation, when I took a look at that, I said, that's a horrible thing. They knew it wasn't. They knew it was not.
Además, Tucker Carlson le pregunta, ¿qué va a pasar con Mike Pence? ¿Qué va a pasar con Mike Pence durante las presidenciales en el 2024? Esto fue lo que dijo.
Whatever happened to Mike Pence? You've always been nice to Pence. I've never heard you criticize Pence. You've defended him in public many, many times. He's out there attacking you. What is that?
So Mike wants to run for president. You got to understand, in my opinion, Mike Pence had the absolute right to send the votes back to the legislatures. The Democrats and everybody said, you don't have the right. In other words, what I said, is he a human conveyor belt? You mean if he finds fraud in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in any of these states, Arizona, he has to send them to Mitch McConnell, right? That's right, sir. Well, if he finds fraud, he has to? Yes, sir. I said, so he's a conveyor belt. Boom, put him in. I said, I don't agree with that. And we had some lawyers, not all, we had some lawyers that said, no, you do have the right to send them back to the legislatures to be rechecked. Because if you looked at what went on in Wisconsin, who, by the way, now agree with me, Wisconsin has been virtually, other than the fact they're not allowed to do anything statutorily, but Wisconsin has been, what they found is incredible. We won Wisconsin. But Mike Pence had the right, in my opinion, to send him back.
Do you ever talk to him now?
No, I haven't spoken to him in a long time. I was very disappointed in him.
Tucker Carlson le pregunta a Donald Trump, ¿crees que nos dirigimos hacia la guerra civil, hacia una guerra civil por todo lo que está pasando en Estados Unidos? Esto fue lo que dijo.
Do you think we're moving towards civil war?
There's tremendous passion and there's tremendous love. January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't report it properly. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before. And some of the crowds I've spoken before. And like July 4th on the mall, I think they had 1 million people there. But I think that the biggest crowd I've ever spoken before was on January 6th. And people that were in that crowd, a very, very small group of people, and we said patriotically and peacefully and patriotically, right? Nobody ever says that. Go peacefully and patriotically. But people that were in that crowd that day, very small group of people went down there, and then there are a lot of scenarios that we can talk about. But people in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity. I have never seen such spirit and such passion and such love. And I've also never seen simultaneously and from the same people such hatred of what they've done to our country.
So do you think it's possible that there's open conflict? We seem to be moving towards something.
I don't know, because I don't know what it, I can say this. There's a level of passion that I've never seen. There's a level of hatred that I've never seen, and that's probably a bad combination.
Tucker Carlson le pregunta, la prioridad número 1 de Trump si es elegido nuevamente, ¿cuál es tu prioridad? ¿Cuál va a ser la prioridad número 1 si eres electo nuevamente para presidente en el 2024? Esto fue lo que dijo.
So last question, if you're elected president again, what's your number one priority? When you ran last time, you said, I will build a wall. This time, your bottom line top promise to the country.
So you can do numerous things at the same time.
Of course.
But let's say number one is a border and taking hundreds of thousands of criminals that have been allowed into our country and getting them out and bringing them back to their country, Guatemala. By the way, not only the 4 countries that we think of as neighbors, all over the world. Last month, we had 149 countries represented. Think of it. We had 149 countries represented, Tucker, from places that many people never even heard of, coming into our country. And they're coming in from mental institutions, and they're coming in from prisons. They're emptying out their prisons all over South America. They're emptying out their mental institutions. Terrorists are pouring into our country. We have no idea. I had the strongest border in the history of our country, and I built almost 500 miles of wall. You know, they like to say, oh, was it less? No. I built 500 miles. In fact, if you check with the authorities on the border, we built almost 500 miles of wall, and I had another 200 that I was going to build. You know, it's like water. It seeks. And we're going to build another 200. We built it. It was all set to go. All they had to do was install it. It would have taken 3 weeks. And that's when I found out. I said, I think these people actually want open borders. The first thing I would do would be, I would seal up the border good and tight, except for people that want to come in legally.
Aquí me suena también que Vivek, este republicano emergente, que tampoco no sabía quién era él, probablemente se está rumorando que puede ser que él se convierta en el vicepresidente de los Estados Unidos o en el compañero de fórmula de Donald Trump. Vivek llama a Donald Trump el mejor presidente del siglo XXI porque esto está surgiendo. Vean este video.
I'd like to get in and respond. Let's just speak the truth, okay? President Trump, I believe, was the best president of the 21st century. It's a fact. And Christie, honest to God, your claim that Donald Trump is motivated by vengeance and grievance would be a lot more credible if your entire campaign were not based on vengeance and grievance against one man. And if people at home want to see a bunch of people blindly bashing Donald Trump without an iota of vision for this country, they could just change the channel to MSNBC right now. But I'm not running for president of MSNBC. I am running for president of the United States. We're skating on thin ice, and we cannot set a precedent where the party in power uses police force to indict its political opponents. It is wrong. We have to end the weaponization of justice in this country.
Entonces, señores, terminamos. ¿Qué les pareció esta entrevista que hizo Tucker Carlson a Donald Trump, traducida en español para todos ustedes? Vamos a compartir este video, vamos a compartir esta información, esta entrevista, señores, que se haga viral para que todas las personas de habla hispana se enteren de lo que dijo Donald Trump y cuáles son sus proyecciones si es electo como presidente en el 2024. Cuídense, Dios me los bendiga y hasta luego.